I don't have a small dream, and I'm not trying to like bite off like an easy to do thing. Like, it's really ambitious to get into the restaurant business.
Yeah.
And I didn't get into it with the hope of having 3 places. It really just kind of worked out that way, from knowing that Mike was moving out to Boston to him having an open pizzeria there was a matter of a couple of months. So, I mean, and literally from him, like when I heard about him moving out there, we were already well into the process of trying to open up Westtown. He moved out there and opened Boston before we opened Westtown.
Wow.
Like we never left.
It's like we never left.
It's so good to see you, man.
Good to be with you, Tony.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen each other like a few times here and there.
I know.
Outside of the pod studio since, but both of us lead really busy lives.
The last time you were on, I was trying to go back in the time, was 2023, pre-Teto.
That's 3 years ago. Wow.
and before that was episode 28 in 2020.
Yeah. For real. Couple COVID babies.
COVID babies, right? I said it in the second episode. You were our first date for my now wife. Like, I wasn't married in our second episode.
I forget that, but that's always heartwarming to hear.
It was when you were in Wrigleyville, full shilling, and I picked up the pie. I double parked it, went in. They didn't know that there was a pizza guy in the back. I grabbed the pizza. I said hello. Brought some Phase 3 beer, and we just schlepped it in the park. It would look like an alley right behind Wrigley. And then
tough skiing in those days.
Yeah. and then years go by, and you go through many iterations beyond that, and we don't have to go down the rabbit hole of the apartment and Hermosa. Like there's previous episodes for that. But in my head, the most recent it's recent is not the right word, but like the last time I saw you, was pre-Westtown, and just doing some digging. You have other locations now too, Boston. Like what?
Yeah, we're up to 2 in Chicago, and then we've got a small but mighty food hall stall.
Oh,
in
wow.
Charlestown, Massachusetts.
Isn't that interesting?
I don't know why that
Isn't that because in 2020 you were going to be in a food stall.
I know, it's full circle.
Isn't that full circle?
It's full circle. I think part of the reason I'm searching for Charlestown, Massachusetts, I've not been yet. It's been open for maybe a month and a half now. One of our best guys that's ever been with us, Mike Sundstrom, the Peacemaker on Instagram. We'll have to link that if we can.
Okay.
But he and his wife moved out there. She had an incredible opportunity that he was more than willing to support her in. And as soon as they got their footing, they found this food hall, Foundation Food Hall, and opened up a kind of slice counter sort of situation.
What did he do with you?
Professor Pizza Boston.
That led him to be prepared for that.
Yeah, he was our chef for the longest time.
Oh.
He started making pizza when he lived in Houston for Cane Rosso, and then when they moved back to Chicago, he started working with me. I think at that time we were in the Ghost Kitchen in Humboldt Park together.
Okay.
And grew that space over the course of a year, got onto the Teto rooftop in the West Loop, spent 2 years there. Over the course of that second year, we opened up Old Town together with the 50/50 Hospitality Group, and that's at Wells and North Avenue, attached to Second City. We will be there like 2 years next month. Yeah, it's like been 23 months already, which is crazy.
Are you with the lease? Are you going year by year, or did you make a long-term deal?
So they hold the lease, but we have a longer.
Okay.
Yeah, they being 50/50 Hospitality. We have a long-term deal with them. And I would say so far it's going fine, to be honest with you.
Good.
I wouldn't say it's going incredible, and I wouldn't say it's going terrible.
It's very honest.
Yeah.
Is it because of things that are outside of your control?
I think it's a variety of factors, some that are, within my control and things that we could be working on all the time, and others that are probably outside of my control, and also just the nature of working with a other company and larger company that has a lot of balls in the air at the same time.
Sure.
Whereas I selfishly, like any small business owner, want to be attributing all the resources and attention we could possibly have to the Professor Pizza efforts, because that's what we're involved in.
So many pros and cons, and you had a similar sentiment in our second episode with, or even other episodes that I've listened to. You've been quite around, done laps around the podcast circuit with other podcasts, but with the pros and cons of partnering with other hospitality groups and leveraging the systems that they've built, the network that they've built. The purveyors maybe that they've built, but like
all those things,
things, right? And
I wouldn't have been able to get into a 130-seat restaurant attached to Second City without the help of an established hospitality group. So certainly pros to it. But then, it's like the restaurant scene is still in this era where we're still recovering from COVID in many respects. And it used to be like you'd want to get as many seats as possible because the more covers you can turn, the more money you can potentially make. And now I have a 130-seat restaurant, and it's difficult, There are nights where we do pack the house, and I'm always thrilled when that happens. But when you don't, you really feel it.
Is that attributed to the events in the area?
I think there's so many different factors. I think, we went into Old Town having this idea that this is a vibrant community and there's a lot of arts and culture here with Second City and Zanies. And a variety of other, there's a folk music
good buddy
school
Jason Chan down the street.
Absolutely. Bravage. Shout out to some of the best. Best French food in the
You did
city.
Family Meal over. I saw they did Family Meal.
We're just buds. That guy barely lets me pay when I'm in there. He treats me like an older brother, and has all the love and time and tutelage and wisdom for me in the world. I love Jason.
Oh, man.
Chicago legend for sure.
And so what else would you attribute the influx or the waves of crowds coming in to fill the seat?
I guess what I was saying about Old Town is I think now I'm starting to understand that the places that do really well, at least off that strip of Wells, are alcohol, beverage-driven businesses.
Sure.
Shot in a beer type bars. Maybe they've got a decent cocktail program or whatever.
Is it more brunchy than dinner? Or
I would say, brunch. Brunch for sure, and just drinking.
Yeah.
And, you want food with it, but it's more that the food is the afterthought.
Yeah,
and
I can see
the going out and, getting pretty lit is kind of the forefront of it. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just more of a party block than I maybe initially realized. And having, a few steps previously come from Wrigleyville, I was certainly ready to be over that, but it's it's a different shade of that.
To your surprise, yeah. Even your neighbor, doesn't your neighbor have a rooftop?
Well, we're beneath. We're beneath Utopian Tailgate, which is also a 50-50 concept, and that does pretty darn well for itself because it feeds into that kind of party vibe that's on the block.
Right.
And so we've gotten some business from that, some business from Second City, but again, I think it's such a food first concept. And not an obvious one at that. At that particular location, we do 5 different styles, and have other supporting kind of cast members on the menu as well. And so it's a lot for people to take in at times, and it's just a lot of seats to fill.
A lot of the weight is placed on the server to help make those decisions.
It is, and
and I'm sure that starts from you. That starts from the professor. And it trickles down.
It's tough. I don't want to pontificate on where service and hospitality is these days, because I think you can like quickly sound like, that previously washed out generation where it's like, well, in my day we really like cared about this, that, or the other. I think people care all the time.
Sure.
And people also don't care all the time. So I think it is tough to find good service folks front of house, but it's one of those things where it's like a chicken and the egg sort of thing, where if you have the sales to support a really busy service staff and they're getting high tips and lots of tables, then it's going to be easy to procure a high quality service staff. But you kind of need the high quality service staff to maintain the kind of service atmosphere, ambiance that you're trying to convey to your customer.
Yeah.
So that you can get busy in the first place. It's tough.
Well, you've received this criticism on maybe even Reddit of how like some of the pies are priced.
For sure.
Right? And then it comes with the criticism of like, oh, it's overrated.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pay that much for a pizza. But like when it's priced that high, you would think service would have this expectation of like, oh, tips wouldn't be that bad at a place like this.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough too. When you're trying to build sales, you try and keep the labor low. In an effort to keep the labor low, you put less people on the floor. Then you're more reliant on maybe a QR, sort of model, which focuses the attention and efforts of the server more on selling beverages and getting sales in versus running food and spending time at tables. But then again, that model takes away from the traditional hospitality trappings that we're used to,
I'm sure
and that
you would
we still
love to
enjoy.
have. Yeah.
So that's where, like, when you have the bigger restaurant group supporting you and you have the bigger space and therefore the bigger overhead, you're forced to figure out that balancing act even more so than you would be in like what we have in Westtown, where it's not 130 seats, it's 45 seats. It's one room as opposed to kind of two different dining spaces, right?
Yeah.
It's a slice counter versus, at least at this point, servers. Maybe with the addition of a liquor license, which we're working on, servers will make more sense at some point, at least during a dinner service, maybe not a lunch service.
So there's still service at Westtown?
Well, it's counter service right now.
Yeah, so you pick
but
up...
as we achieve that liquor license, which we hope to sooner rather than later, with that comes maybe some cocktails, maybe some wine. Well, if there's wine on the menu and you need somebody to kind of explain the wine, you can only do so much of that in those sorts of sales at a counter.
Why go there at all?
Because I think
why go the liquor license route? Because Zaza's like kills it in Lakeview.
They do. I think their space. So you haven't been to the new space yet, have you?
No, not their third space. Yeah. Was it Lincoln Park or
Westtown?
They're in Westtown too.
No,
not your. I haven't been to your new space.
Oh, no.
Because I know they have a third space too.
And I haven't either been to their newest space. I'm thinking of their original space.
Oh, okay. In Lakeview, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think their original. Like, I wouldn't be thrown off if they did have alcohol there, but I don't think it like immediately lends itself to that.
Yeah.
Whereas the nature of the space that we're, and by the way, shout out to Zaza's. I think they make incredible pizza and they're great guys. And it's one thing I love as I'm, weeks away from going to Pizza Expo for like the 10th time, it seems like. At least that's what Facebook memories are telling me. It's important to shout out just the pizza community at large and how thrilled I am to be a part of it.
I love how strongly you feel about
and here in Chicago.
How strongly you feel about how Tony Gemignani should be associated or should be mandatory reading.
I appreciate
for anyone interested.
Say his name.
Don't you forget it.
Yeah.
For anyone interested in this industry, in this path, it's the GOAT.
For sure. Appreciate you pointing that out, because I would have at some point.
I know.
You're like, let me just fall on this sword for him. That's so funny. Yeah, he's the best. He's my big brother in all of this, and somebody that I still reach out to all the time, and is the founder of the World Pizza Champions, which I'm now on the board of, as the sponsor. Wow, I can't even speak right this time of night. Sponsorship chair.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And this is the first time that you're on the board? When did you get on the board?
It's the first time I'm on the board.
Yeah.
In the past couple of months, I'm, so overwhelmed by it. And not just the board responsibilities, but like to have another thing in my life that I have to answer to on top of that.
What are some like decisions or tasks that you're
maintaining relationships with 20 or 30 sponsors or preferred vendors that we have with the team.
Outreach, okay.
You're outreaching to other potential ones in hopes to secure more so that we can do things as a team. We can grow as a team. We can go on retreats. We can send people to Italy to compete, so on and so forth. I mean, it really runs the gamut.
Yeah.
But in the last couple of months.
Okay. You know what? I've never heard.
It's cool to have the perspective of what they do, which is more than I ever knew.
Because he's such a mentor and so formative in your life. Like, what size restaurant is he working with in San Fran?
I mean, he's going to have, like, in the hundreds of restaurants at some point globally. He probably has...
You said hundreds?
Yeah, he probably has in and around, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 concepts in San Francisco alone. Oh. And the reason is like he has his flagship spot, which is worth bringing up, Tony's Pizza Napolitana, 15, 20 years old or something to that effect now. And if ever there was a place that like most inspired Professor Pizza and what it would become, it's certainly that place, in that he has multiple different kinds of ovens, multiple different kinds of styles of pizza, different non-pizza items on the menu as well that are all extravagant and incredible in their own right. And so that place is quite an operation within itself. It's also attached to his slice house, it's one of his only coal-fired slice houses, right? So he has a coal-fired oven there. Down the street from there, he's got Capo's, which is a Chicago/Detroit kind of Midwestern pizzeria meets kind of steakhousey vibe in the Gina Giorgetti sense of the term. Wow. And he does, Chicago and cast iron and cracker thin and Detroit style.
So you set the scene, and he's someone that has pretty much scratched every itch.
Yeah, I mean, stadiums, cruises, airlines.
Okay.
That's how you so quickly get to so many locations as well. And then he's franchised out.
What do you think's motivating him to do all that?
Concepts as well. I think, first off, I know for a fact he loves what he does.
Yeah.
I think it's of his personality to be most comfortable working versus taking time off. Not that he isn't, find time to also be an incredible family guy, and I'm friendly with his young son, and his wife is wonderful, and they do amazing things as a family together, which is also a source of inspiration for me as a father and somebody who's still trying to build out balance in life. But he's an intensely curious guy. I mean, you'd have to be known as the guy that does so many different styles of pizza and on such a high level, and then builds concepts kind of around those different styles and telling those different stories. So I think with every place that he opens and in every market he opens, he has an opportunity to educate that area on pizza through his perspective. So when you're in that mindset, so long as you've got people in your team that'll help you drive that vision forward, it's like, why not?
Yeah. I agree. I asked that because a recent thought for me is like, after I'm feeling financially secure, gratefully, it's like, I don't want to be complacent, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like I have enough.
And you probably do. I mean, I was also like, kudos to you. We were talking before we got on air, so to speak, but you have 40 some odd instructors in this space.
Yeah, that help
and
deliver
I'm like,
the
do you do this
content.
all yourself? And I really didn't know, but that's incredible, and that's more than enough for a lot of people, But I also remind myself as somebody whose personality and interests and hobbies tend to be so reliant on what I do for a living that not only is it acceptable, but it should be encouraged to find other outlets in life that aren't driven by commerce or career.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like what you have in your EMT business here is probably like more than enough and more than fulfilling in its own right. But maybe there's time and aspirations elsewhere for you too.
Yeah, I mean it's ebbed and flowed. So
Yeah.
like the very first time I met you, it was ebbing for sure. In the sense of like I wasn't feeling as fulfilled.
Yeah.
But when you take the reins back and you reclaim agency and you start similar to how maybe you might be feeling of like I want full control.
I've had to do it recently.
Right? And when you reclaim that and you become successful through that, it becomes fulfilling again. And you get to choose what you do and who you do it with and when you do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's always important to delegate and to, share the secret sauce and have people that you can rely on. But there's something to be said for like taking control and doing things yourself, and no one's going to necessarily do as good a job as you could do for yourself when it comes to your own standards, right?
Yeah.
So I find that, and I struggle and play with that balance all the time.
But
sure.
it's so there is some level of or a lot of trust in specifically, let's say Mike, especially using your likeness in a place that you've never been.
Yeah.
And but like without saying numbers, it's like you have to give some level of ownership so they can care as much as you care. If
Yeah.
If they're not an owner, why would they care?
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. He is so the right guy for the job that like, and this is not to say anything, by the way, against my partners in Old Town or anything like that. It's one thing when you start in the trenches with like one other person.
Yeah.
And it's another thing when you take your dream and you put it in the hands of a group of many. And so I am so much more secure in the pizza that's coming out of a pizzeria on the other side of the country that I've never been to before.
Nice.
That I only see through Instagram and through text messages and communication with Mike. Than I am a spot that's 15 minutes down the road from where we are right now, and it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
As you pointed out earlier, I'm spending the lion's share of my time these days at my Westtown location because it's brand new. It's been open about plus or minus a month now. I, in that time, find myself in a situation where a handful of the folks that have been with me in the kitchen the last some or many years have all around the same time moved on to other opportunities.
Wow.
And I've had to put together a new kitchen in that time. And I already feel great about it, even though mere weeks ago I was in a really scary place.
Sure. Because ideally you would have, borrowed some people from Old Town and helped train people in
whether
West
it's
Town.
borrow people from Old Town or just have more time for it to happen at a more gradual rate.
Okay.
And have more support from people that can, in tandem, while I teach new people, they also teach new people.
Yeah.
But that's just not how it always goes.
Sure.
And I'm really proud of where they are right now. Like, I don't know what time it is right now, but certainly when I left, we were still open. And a couple weeks ago, like even when we made these plans, I was like, I think when we initially made these plans, it was like right before this switch happened.
Okay.
And then since then, I was like, oh my God, will I be able to pull this off without rescheduling? And then by the time tonight rolled around, I knew for a fact I could.
Oh, good.
And so I'm sure as a small business owner yourself, you've seen time and time again that if you can't figure out how to like roll with the punches,
Oh yeah.
it won't work out because
provide them opportunities to, and if you can, fail safely, right?
Yeah.
In a controlled setting.
Yeah.
But or provide opportunities where they have initiative and maybe even some creativity, and they put some of their own soul into either hospitality, or it could be a spin on a pie, whatever. And then they get excited about this thing.
Absolutely. And we've tried to do that. I mean, I love when people say, oh, if you haven't had his mortadella and pistachio pizza yet, you got to have it. It's on our menu, but it's Mike's Pizza, you know? And any time that I can give a moment of creativity to somebody else in our space, it's for the betterment of, you know, the diner, the guest, everybody, because we have something new to play with and a new perspective to share. So I love it.
Yeah, going back to what you said earlier.
Can't create in a vacuum, you know?
No, it's not a vacuum. I wonder if you've clocked how long service actually takes when you said like limit labor, and how long, even if it's just like drinks. Like if you did the
like individual QR code pickups model,
or no, just at the tables.
Oh, okay.
Right, like someone puts a drink order in, and how long does it take?
Yeah.
Or does it become noticeable that they haven't gotten their drink yet?
Yeah.
You know, and that's very dependent on like, are they conversational? Are they not? Are they just sitting there? But I, you know,
in the flow of the room and how many guests you have,
and that's just
time,
one
right?
thing. We can't. There's a time constraint, a bottleneck of how long it takes to actually bake the pies and prep the pies.
Sure.
Right. But
every step of it.
I think an easy fix, I haven't been there in a hot minute, is just speed up, you know, service.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's always like the goal, but it's a balance, and it takes continued education every step of the way.
Yes. Continued
education and continued communication, right? And I think it's just something we're always striving for, but
it's like what
I don't know. I don't know that it's. I don't know that
fruit.
It's. I haven't found the obvious answer yet, right? But it's a constant pursuit.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like, what's the lowest hanging fruit with that? And I think Millie's gets this as well, like with the cost of their pies and how they might sell out sometimes, but they're giving him shit for closing Berwyn, and it's just like, how can you be number one pie if you're closing a location? It's just location wasn't working out for him.
Well, but also, people are so funny with that stuff because it's not like he decides what accolades he gets. And by the way, he deserves everything that's come his way. Robert's also a dear friend and a super talented pizza maker. And I think all of us have to figure out how to situate this business with our pre-existing lifestyles. And what works for Robert may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for Robert at Millie's, right? And at the end of the day, like, go somewhere else. Like, because what we want you to come to our pizzerias, and we're thrilled and humbled every time you do. Like, it's a city of incredible restaurants and choices. And if what works for our lifestyle doesn't work for yours, we might not be a match, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just, that's the model that works for him.
Right.
And, you know, he's got a wife and 2 kids and, you know, multiple restaurants and standards of how he produces his pizza. And it must be working because he's got the accolades.
Yeah.
And it's damn good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, we've come from like very esoteric, inconvenient beginnings too, in terms of how you could get our pizza. And even up until a month ago with this Westtown location, people would come in for carry out and delivery as we were still building the space out. And we were doing limited slices from the back of the kitchen because we hadn't staffed somebody to run the slice counter yet because the whole space wasn't built out yet.
Wow.
And people wanted to know, oh, when are you going to be ready for dine? And when are you going to... It's like, I appreciate the clamor around wanting it, but also you have to understand, like, as the person paying the bills, you have to understand, I want to be open for dine-in more than you want me to be open for dine-in. This is so much more expensive for me to not be open for dine-in than for me to just be open.
Yeah.
But it takes time. And, to Robert's model, I'm sure that he would love to be open 24/7 and have 15 people on the line working 5 different ovens with 4 decks apiece. It's just not always how it works. And maybe one day he'll get there if and so he chooses. I've never, and maybe he won't if and so he chooses.
And you've mentioned Burt Katz in multiple episodes. Like it, obviously reminds me of that. Have you had the pleasure of meeting Burt before he passed away?
No,
me either.
Like his lore was like really reaching critical mass around the same time I was starting to take pizza seriously. So I have been to like Burt's 2.0 once. And I appreciate the lineage of Chicago cast iron pizza, and in his place in that story is in my opinion and my understanding kind of the godfather of the style.
Oh, I just mentioned him because I feel like just through the Anthony Bourdain episode,
yeah, for sure,
I feel like he struck a balance.
I saw that, and I saw I think it was called The Pizza Show or whatever that Vice had at the time. A balance of what his lifestyle and just general availability.
A personal life. I remember you said in another episode of just like wanting to cook for your friends again, wanting to maybe go into stand up, wanting to play music, to just play,
sure.
And it's just like, when's the last time you had Tony time?
Yeah, that's funny. You always like more Tony time, but then I think of like, I have 2 wonderful children. They each have their own mothers, and both of them work. One works a corporate job, and one works as a union electrician.
Wow.
And I am sure they would agree with me when I say Tony gets plenty of Tony time, relative to what they do for a living, right? With that said, I do these days pretty much work every day.
Yeah.
Even on the days that I'm with my kids, I take some time away. But if not before I'm with my kids and after I'm with my kids for the evening, at least after I'm with my kids for the evening, I'll stop by the pizzeria and kind of just look at the prep for the day that was done while we were closed, and maybe make sure that I pulled some New York dough out if it's Tuesday and we're opening the next day, Wednesday, so that the dough's at room temperature and like just fully optimized to stretch and open up New York doughs for the next day for the slice case.
Now, are you expecting that there will be a day where you
don't have to do that
and everything is actually set?
It's like already like mostly set.
That's great.
Like I'm not like, oh my God, and they forgot to do this and they forgot to do this.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like a cathartic thing to like just go in there and look around and be like, yeah, I guess I'll do this one thing because that'll set us up for success tomorrow. But like,
Tony, you're in the way.
Man, it looks otherwise great. Yeah. Oh, trust me, that's been the case too. That's been the case too. But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now these days I'm taking more of an active service role in that location,
and people appreciate that, and
they do.
I think Cecily does a great job. Billy and Cecily do a great job.
They're a huge inspiration to me, and
Derek does a great job.
We're
at
friendly
Pauly
too.
G's.
Yeah, absolutely. And I come from some Pauly G's lineage with Derek.
Yes,
yeah.
and
Love Derek.
Derek has expressed that too, of like the perception of a full restaurant and how much harder that is with 130 seats.
He's another spot that's like,
Logan, that spot's tough.
That's
Parking's tough
It's
around
a huge
there.
spot. It's a huge spot, and anytime you have a huge spot, you feel the extremes of owning a restaurant. When it's busting in there, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
And that's a space that it's like when it's full, it looks incredible. He's got 2 ovens, people stretching right in front of you, big long bar with a ambitious cocktail program, like awesome natural wood throughout, tall ceilings. When he's struggling, like many of us do, and you're making pizza for yourself in there, it's a big empty space.
Right.
And like that's what having a spot in Old Town of that size has taught me, but but it's all relative. It's all relative, and it's. Well, I'll stop talking. I'm more curious what he had to say about it.
Well, because we were doing a round table with Cecily, and you know, I've only gone to Pizza Michi maybe 4 times. It's always popping.
Yeah.
But it's a smaller space.
Yeah.
And it's a balance of like good product, good hospitality, a tight space. It's intimate. It's bustling in there, and it just makes you want to be there. I've waited an hour to get in there.
I actually think they have the perfect pizzeria in town.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the right size, and it reminds.
How are we defining like perfect pizzeria?
They figured out a menu that's ambitious but doesn't do too much.
Okay.
They've got a great beverage program.
That anchovy Caesar salad.
Yeah, everything.
I haven't had the meatballs yet, but
they've got some like off-menu stuff and like different like tin fish dishes that are just like esoteric and cool.
Yeah.
And a cool accompaniment to the pizza. And you know, they get the rap for like, oh my God, you can barely eat there, and this. Yeah, I'm sorry, they're successful. It's working. And it's just enough. And it makes you think of spots in New York that are of that size or smaller, because that's all the real estate market will allow for.
I can't imagine.
And to them, it's like you would never hear that comment.
Okay.
Because they understand that there's too many people for the amount of space that we have in this city. So that's already a fact of life.
Wow.
It's a fact of life in their apartments. It's a fact of life in their restaurants, right?
Yeah.
So people embrace that reality because it is what it is. Here we have such an embarrassment of riches with space and real estate that everybody just expects to walk into a restaurant and be sat. And I'm sorry, but if you have a manageable space that you can sooner rather than later turn a profit in, which I imagine they are, or they're well on their way to doing so, it's probably going to lend to it being a smaller space.
Yeah.
And if it's successful, you might have to wait to sit down. And you might have to just get carry-on delivery instead of sitting down. You know,
which works too. I've done that.
I was gonna say of the 4 times
it travels well.
I probably had about 4 times myself, and I think only one of those times I've eaten in.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm sure a little of it is that you know, I got a shop right down the street, and I'm in pizza, and I know them, but I observed the service that they were giving other people too. They treated me like a king, but they treated everybody really, really well.
Yeah.
And they run a great restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, so they deserve everything they get.
I didn't know how it go. Why I didn't ask Cecily, but like they threw a New Year's party. You know, stuff like that. It's like you have this space that is a almost blank canvas for whatever you want to do now.
Well, and that's how we're trying to treat our space right down the street for them. There's next to Tempesta at Grand and Noble. 1374 West Grand Avenue. Professor Pizza Slice and Pie. That's like the ultimate like Tony time. If you walk in there, never has a space more encapsulated me and the stuff that I'm into, and frankly the stuff that my cousin's into. Michael Mantis, who we decide every month what we want to call his position. I would say he's a creative director. I think he's head of all marketing efforts, all social media efforts.
For all of Professor Pizza or for that location?
Certainly that location. He's starting to take over some efforts in Boston, although that's been kind of a husband-wife effort between Mike and Sasha out there who are running that space. Old Town has some say over what they do and what 50/50 does in that space.
So West Town is yours?
He's played a role in everything. Yeah, 50/50 is not involved in...
Oh, yeah, interesting. Good for you. Okay.
Yeah. 50/50 is not involved in that space. And Mike self-funded Boston. And,
wow.
You know, we worked that out on the back end or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
good for you.
I'm intensely happy for him. So... Where was I going with all that?
With the creative direction and the encapsulating Tony time.
Just the walls are filled with memorabilia that's specific to pizza, that's specific to Chicago, that's specific to pop culture. We've got a Sopranos pinball machine in there. We've got a record player in there, and a shelf of records and more that I want to add to. We've got the slice case in there, and of course, I've always wanted a pizzeria, but I've really always wanted a slice shop.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've always felt like that really completes what you're looking for in at least a Italian American pizza setting. Is like, of course, you want to be able to get the whole pie, but it's really nice to be able to just like have a quick option, or hey, let me get a slice of that and let me get a slice of that, and a glass Coke, and I'll be on my way.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So we're offering that. Obviously, we've got the whole pies. We've got some other supporting, cast members on the menu, like these garlic knot meatball sliders that are pretty awesome. And we plan to build from there. We're going to start a BYOB program there with Tim over at Poor Souls, kind of running that. He's based in West Town himself.
Well, I just had on the guys from Heavy Rotation on. Who
I think I've heard of them, but I'm certainly less familiar.
Poor Souls. They host vinyl listening parties.
Dope.
At Poor
Yeah,
Souls.
he's got such a cool space.
That's cool.
Yeah. And once we get our liquor license, he'll be kind of formulating what will be our BYOB program, and then be our full cocktail and beverage program.
Very cool.
In time.
Yeah. Well, I remember you, in another episode, you given the Pizza Michi team their flowers for how well they execute the thing that they execute, right?
They've been crushing it for a while now.
But like, doesn't that make you reflect on like, do you feel like you're spread thin with the number of options that you provide? Because are you still known for grandma style? It's just like,
I would say. It's really expanded, man.
Really?
Especially having the slice case alone, because I would say the grandma style's in there, the Sicilian's in there, but we're selling more New York slices than either of those other two styles. We have 7 styles at this location. Yeah, New York, Sicilian, grandma, Detroit, cracker thin, deep dish, cast iron, and I don't even count the fact that we also do plant-based meat and cheese alternatives, as well as gluten-free grandmas, Detroits, whatever.
Yeah.
I would say this. I would say if you asked anybody in this business, do they feel like they're spread thin? The answer is going to be yes. I might do more styles, but what I do more of in this category, I might do less of in this category. Or the Pizza Michi does one style and some focaccia and a couple other dishes, but they have a full cocktail and wine program too there, and servers and everything that comes along with that.
Yeah.
Things that I don't currently have to worry about. I will, but we're getting there, right? So do I think they have it easy relative to me? No, not at all. Not at all. I think everybody's thing is uniquely their own, and they excel at parts of it, and other parts of it are doggishly hard,
But we all, is it common knowledge that like drinks have more margins?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what if
people are like, are you sure you even need a liquor license? I'm like, I'm sure.
If you're fiscally motivated, I mean, like to create a beverage program is probably an incentive.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is this is probably a decent enough opportunity to bring up, 3 locations right now, but also all the debt associated with 3 locations, right? And so never interpret me as somebody who's got it financially all figured out.
You previously said you're paycheck to paycheck. Is that still a thing? Are you paycheck to paycheck?
I'm like 15% better than paycheck to
gratefully,
paycheck now.
Great, like we have food on the table, roof over the head, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm not struggling any more than like most of America is struggling right now. Costco, shout out, is like got Wagyu steaks and stuff in the aisle. Like, I'm doing it. I'm going for it. We don't have to start a GoFundMe for Professor Pizza. With that said, it's not much better than that.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a home yet, sort of thing. So I'm trying to move towards these goals, and I think I'm getting closer in some respects.
Yeah.
But I don't have a small dream, and I'm not trying to like bite off like an easy to do thing. Like, it's really ambitious to get into the restaurant business.
Yeah.
And I didn't get into it with the hope of having 3 places. it really just kind of worked out that way, you know. From knowing that Mike was moving out to Boston to him having an open pizzeria there was a matter of a couple of months. So, I mean, and literally from him, like when I heard about him moving out there, we were already well into the process of trying to open up Westtown. He moved out there and opened Boston before we opened Westtown. Okay, so it's like that's how fast moving things can happen sometimes.
Like through conversations with him, was it a realization of like I can't, like from Mike's perspective, like I can't see myself doing anything else. Like I want to keep pushing Professor Pizza.
You know, when he told me about Boston, it was he's excited to live in a new city and build this life with his wife, who I mean, both of them are incredibly deserving of that. She's a incredibly impressive person in her own right as a PhD chemist and somebody that got an incredible opportunity in the pharmaceutical industry. That's where the center of the pharmaceutical industry is.
I didn't know that.
Is Boston. I found this out around the time, you know, this whole conversation was happening. But he's like, look, it's going to be new. It's going to be scary. It's going to be a transition, but I think you guys are ready for it. I will still play this remote supportive role as he absolutely has, and I've absolutely taken him up on. But he said to me, he's like, if you're cool with it, I'd love to do Professor Pizza out there. And we have always talked about expanding to different markets. Boston wasn't necessarily like on the radar at all. Austin is, maybe Nashville, but that's kind of just like associated with my love of comedy and different opportunities that are at just like the seedling.
We're gonna see you on Rogan one day.
Right now, I've been brought up on Rogan once.
But I've seen that clip. I've seen that clip.
Yeah.
Was it Segura? Or was it
no,
Bill Kreischer?
It was neither.
Bert Kreischer.
Both of them have said
not on
my
Rogan,
name
though?
on but not on Rogan.
Oh,
it was Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. That's a goal of mine. The whole Rogan thing.
Yeah. And I know you're not like that's not your main goal is to like strategically game the system. You're just merging your love of comedy
by the way,
with pizza.
It wouldn't work. It's
like people can smell that from a mile away.
I think what the kids would call that is like an industry plant or something like that. Like there are no shortcuts, but like there are unique and interesting ways along the way to promote yourself in ways that other people might not have previously considered, or just aren't as saturated in, right? And I've found an outlet to do that with comedy, right? By nature of Tony time, right? Like just wanting to go to shows and wanting to be a part of the hang, and pizza's a natural way to do that. And there's a lot of kindred spirits between cooks and comedians, because these are two groups of people that are creatives that traditionally speaking aren't making a lot of money, traditionally speaking aren't working traditional hours, and it's a long and at times lonely path to even sustainability, let alone anything grander than that. So for those that make it, it's a pretty special thing. Yeah. And I wouldn't say I've made it yet, but I've gotten some notoriety and been able to keep my places open and slowly but surely keep growing.
I admire the relationship that you have with JB, and I saw that photo.
Yeah, that one's special.
Was it Westtown?
That one's special.
Where he checked in on you, stopped by?
JB and his wife Shah are incredible people, incredible supporters. They've been around a lot of my family, a lot of my friends at this point, by just nature of them being the type of people where when they're in town, 9 out of 10 times makes it seem like it's happened at least 9 or 10 times, but it hasn't. But in most scenarios, when they're in town, they're coming to me and seeing me where I am, which is like crazy. Yeah. You know, they're really just the best. There's not much more I could say about it. They're really genuine people.
Back in the day, you try to find out where they would be and try to deliver.
Yeah, I didn't know of his wife at the time. Of course, I've since I'm always careful to bring her up because, well, he's maybe the bigger of the two celebrities. Like she's every bit my friend and supporter that he is, and has been every bit as generous to me as he is, and I've met other people in their circle and whatever. But yes, it started because I was already just like a huge Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, a huge JB fan, even back to like the Mr. Deeds days, if you remember him as like the elevator guy, right?
Yeah.
And other roles he's had throughout the years. But he was doing stand-up, which I know him at that point in my life
I've ever seen
less for.
Wow.
He's a fantastic stand-up, super animated, super physical, just everything that he brings to
Shane Gillis is coming to town too.
I know.
Okay, I know. I'm sure you know.
Yeah. I can't wait. We'll see. I never. It's never for sure until it's for sure.
All to say.
But Shane's been great too.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't mean to go out. I love his Tires show on Netflix.
Oh, it's incredible.
I love it.
It's incredible.
Something so I would love to do something like, and there have been EMT shows, but like something so blue collar, you know, and so mundane, but like hilariously mundane.
Absolutely. I tell everybody to watch that show, and
all to say, that as impactful as a Instagram story or a shout out might be, showing up in person, it just means so much more. Yeah,
for sure it does. And I'm humbled anytime somebody does or like responds to my DMs. Or, like usually comics when they're in town, at least touring, and they find themselves in town for other reasons too, because Shaw's originally from here. But when you're touring, it's like you have limited time in a city before you got to move on or just maintain some time for yourself so that you can be mentally, physically, so on and so forth, ready for your performance. And when comics come to me or even just respond to my DM and say, yeah, if you want to come to the show or bring a pizza to the green room or whatever, like, it's never lost on me how cool that is that I can do that.
Cool.
You know? And at times it's easier than others, you know, like Shane, the first time I made him pizza was at Zany's.
Oh, wow.
He gave me his number.
Wow.
You know, the second time I made him pizza, he was at the Chicago Theater. Now he's going to be at the United Center.
So sick.
I still have it. I still have his
so
number.
sick.
I don't abuse it. I probably reach out like once or twice within the week that he's going to be there.
Yeah.
To get on his radar once he's local again.
You know who's been doing really well on the,
and he's
like,
been great to me.
on like the more than just the podcast circuit is that O's the Mentalist, but he's been on Andrew Schultz's podcast. I watched that whole 2 hour, like 2.5 hours,
you see,
blowing that whole crowd's mind.
Yeah, I think I first saw him on Your Mom's House with Tom Segura and Christina P. I saw him maybe on Schultz. I definitely saw him on Rogan. That guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Andrew Santino? Right?
Another supportive dude.
Yeah.
Another very, very supportive dude.
I'm sure you love the show Dave.
He's just the best. And also, like, I love Dave. Yeah, saw all of that. Bobby Lee's been super supportive.
Oh, cool.
Bobby Lee's going to be doing, first time to my knowledge, by himself, because he's done it as like a Bad Friends Live. That's their podcast. But with Andrew. But I think it's the first time now that he's put out the hour that he's touring theaters with the hour by himself. And again, I don't want to say that incorrectly. Not that Bobby's necessarily watching me, but first time he's doing Chicago theater by himself. I'm going to say that.
Oh, that's very cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, so it's always cool to see even like a legend like him just like continue to rise the ranks within their own career and and catch them for some one-on-one time along the way. It's really cool.
Yeah. Not too long ago, maybe a year or so, Chappelle was in town.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's another like level, you know.
It is another level. It's like the final frontier. And I have not crossed it yet. I have I know people that know him, you know, decently well. And I just think it's one of those things where it's like
it'll happen if it happens, you know.
Yeah.
Ryan Catolico from Novel was able to deliver pies to Derrick Rose.
So sick. So sick. I'm not. What did he do it the night of his?
No, not that. It was
ceremony.
No, do you remember when?
Because I tried that night.
Oh, really?
Unsuccessfully, but like I have a contact at the United Center after having done
front row.
Oh, sick! That's incredible. That's incredible.
It was a very impulse purchase, and it was incredible. I was sitting backside. I bet you don't regret it. I was behind Stacey King.
It's funny. I grew up with.
I think White Mama was there too.
Okay, that's so funny. I grew up with the King kids, and like, I'm like. I think if Stacy saw me, he would know who I am.
Oh, sick. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Certainly his son does.
Would have been fun to bump into you.
Yeah, that's funny.
But it was the day that they.
I don't think they would have given me a seat for it, but.
Sit right here. They let us hold the game ball. I was like, oh my god.
That's insane. That's insane.
The day that.
You know who they should have let hold the game ball? It's that poor woman in the rafters.
I know that made the.
I have since heard that.
Did they get her? Did it take care of her?
I don't know. I just heard something about like, hey, she wanted to be by her banner, which is up in the rafters.
Yeah.
So.
But everyone was giving them shit for like, not even front row seats.
I was just like, I don't know. You'd hope for a little bit more, but at the end of the day, it's like because it isn't her night. It's Derrick Rose's night.
They do that sometimes for the fans, you know. Like, let's upgrade your seats. Come on down.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
No,
but
it's much easier just to blindly talk shit.
So that Derrick, like, it was when they decorated the park with his flowers, and they made like the rose in the basketball court, and he had a contact that was like, hey. If you stand right at that corner, he's going to turn that corner coming from the flowers back to his
A good old school ambush. I love it.
A little.
I try not to do it that way, but that's still really cool.
In addition to timing, though, it's like he wasn't like an ass about it. He of course. He didn't, he
and
was
Derrick's
like,
the one to do that too, because he seems to be so
This is how much of a pro he is. He remembered that he doesn't eat pork.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's just like...
That's how the JB thing happened, though. He's vegan.
Yes. And so doing your homework.
That's the secret sauce right there, though, is just doing your homework. Yeah. And, these people have gives every step of the way in terms of, like, who's in their close circle and, who they go on the road with and whatever the case may be. And... all of those people are infinitely easier to reach out to.
Yeah. Who's the gatekeepers?
Yeah.
If you want to think about it like that, but I'm sure the gatekeepers...
And they don't probably even see themselves as gatekeepers. It's just they happen to have a personal relationship with somebody.
Right? Like,
access.
But that person in the periphery, like close enough to converse with them, probably is thinking about, like, how can I help make their day? In a way, you know, whether that's a pizza.
Well, and also knows whether or not they're like their handler or not. If they're close enough to them, they understand that other people are trying to get to this person all day long. Yeah. And they know their friend or their contact well enough to determine, is this person worthy of letting penetrate the circle or not? Or is this a waste of time?
Are they going to respect the boundaries?
Derrick or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And what's his name from Pizza?
Ryan.
Ryan
and Gremsky. Ryan and Enrique.
I'm overdue for having Pizza Novel. Yeah. I know some of those guys a little bit, but their shop, from what I've seen online, looks very cool.
Well, I think they have ambitions of a larger space as well. And so maybe this story is just like,
I'd love to see Chicago pizza coming up in general. Yeah. Especially people doing it on a high level like they seem to be, and Pizza Michi and Pizza Friendly Pizza and many others. Zaza's
down the street from them, it was trending not too long ago. Chomp Pizza.
Yeah,
I got to say hi not too long ago. Travis,
he's Pauly G's alum.
He's Pauly G's alum?
Yeah.
I know he's Novel alum too.
Okay, is that the case? Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that he was Pauly G's alum.
I'm sure he is. But at the time when I asked, like, he didn't feel like he had much to speak on. So there's no, podcast about it until he's ready to speak on it, which is completely understandable.
That's cool.
But you got to wonder, like, what his margins are, if he's doing $5 a slice and he's limiting it to maybe 2 or 3 slices, because people are trying to game the system. They're like, I want a whole pie. Oh, you can't get a pie. Oh, can I get 8 slices? Can I get 10 slices? It's like,
right.
No. But, on paper plates, very tight menu, maybe a coffee is the only beverage, but like,
right.
And sometimes he'll have a special, slice here and there, but you just get the sense that he's truly doing it for the love.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you, like, I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out. Yeah. And I think there are people that go into it with maybe more intentionality and due diligence than I did. And you should. You should go into it with as much of that as you can. But so much of it is learning on the job. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, first off, I wish Travis and anybody else all the luck in the world. What he's doing seems to be really cool, which in the beginning, I think is the most important part, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah, to
it's
have
like,
fun with
have you ever
it.
seen that Facebook movie? And, you know,
how exciting.
So-and-so from Napster's like, just drop you know, just Facebook. And what they have right now in that moment is cool. That's the beginning. Yeah. It's just starting with something that people are interested in. From there, if you can keep your numbers in line enough, you'll figure out the rest in time, hopefully. But in the beginning, your passion for what you're doing is usually more than enough to carry you through. Mm. So,
because the hard times will be there sooner or later.
Oh, for sure. They'll be there throughout with good times mixed in. And I probably said this on other podcasts as well, like specific to this industry, but because it is so grueling, but I think it's true of many disciplines. You better like it a lot before there's any money and notoriety, because a lot of, if not most of your career will be pre-money and notoriety. Mm-hmm. And once you get the notoriety and the money, if you don't have a love for it, that's going to not be enough for you to form a love for it. And oh, by the way, if you don't have that love for it in the first place, you will probably never get there.
Is the notoriety fleeting?
I don't know that it's fleeting, but it's like
is it
people's attention span is short.
Yeah.
And there's always, like, I would say I'm no longer like the new kid on the block when it comes to Chicago pizza. And I'm in that weird space where we're not like Lou Malnati's Gino Z's legendary, but we're not the new kid on the block. So what are we? We're participating, and we're putting in the time, in the years, and the customers, and the pizzas to one day hopefully have enough staying power to be legendary. But there's always going to be a new kid on the block. So there are things that you can do along the way to still stay relevant. That might be opening up a new location. That might be ambitious new menu items or styles. It might be a new beverage program or cocktail. But I think along the way, you just need to be making sure you're still having fun and you're still doing it for some of the same reasons that you were compelled to do it for in the first place. And that's why, even though I don't really have a traditional day off, I feel like I get plenty of time for myself, because so much of what I'm doing that I love to do is related to just what I do for a living, you know? Whether it's making pizza for someone cool, or the fact that, like, I knew there would be a synergistic reality to being in the same vicinity as Made Gallery, which is a glass and cannabis focused space where other creatives come to enjoy that world and, you know, enjoy other creators while they're at it. And so I signed a lease in a space that, you know, they owned. And now I have that synergistic reality of people coming downstairs from the gallery, enjoying some pizza, and going upstairs.
Oh, wow.
They promote events all the time that I collab with or cater for.
Interesting.
This past weekend, they had Trackstar, the DJ for Rum the Jewels, DJ up there.
Oh, wow.
So they do a lot of cool programming up there, and that's just like one avenue for me to carve out some time for myself.
I wonder how they, and this is a question for them, it's just like came across buying a building. like a mixed use.
Nothing happens
building.
overnight,
Sure
right?
it doesn't.
So like Made galleries existed in a variety of different locations and a variety of different capacities over the past 20 years. My buddy Chris is instrumental to the cannabis and glass scene throughout the country, throughout the world. And this is the first building he's ever owned.
Good for them.
And it's something that he's done over the course of the past 2 years. And in the past year, we've signed the lease and built out the space that we're in currently.
What a joy it is to do business and work with people that you want to work with.
It's literally amazing. And it just goes to show like how much creativity is happening in that building, on that block. I mean, we're right next to Tempesta. I played around with a new pizza in the slice case today that we're calling the Calabrese. And this was literally,
I saw that. Oh,
based
God.
on Anthony Fiasci's father, Agostino, coming in at 11 o'clock in the morning, the moment we open our doors, with 2 soppressatas in his hand.
Looks so good.
And he's just like, in a broken English, Italian, Calabrese accent. I promised you some soppressata. Well, here it is. And it's this old world, super thin, spicy, fatty, full of flavor soppressata that we cut paper thin and paired up with some Hormel and Fontanini Italian sausage and pepperoni that was infused with Calabrian chilies. Some of our vodka sauce, threw some more of the Calabrian chilies and the ricotta, and put some fresh basil on and called it a day. And it's like,
see, that's interesting because I don't hear them get the criticism for being overpriced sandwiches.
Like,
They do,
but
because
at the same time,
artisanal sandwiches. They're very
they do. And look, if I didn't have the relationship I have with them, where I could give them some pizzas and we can have that symbiotic thing back and forth with staff meal, like I wouldn't be able to get it as often as I wanted either. But the same thing is true of my pizza. And I think the reality is when you're met with those criticisms, instead of dumbing down what you do, you just have to double down on your commitment to quality. And that's why they're still here, because their sandwiches are still badass. They make, people don't understand, they buy Berkshire pork and they process all of that into a unique line and variety of salamis and cured meats.
Wow.
That they've had to develop recipes for and build out facilities, USDA certified facilities, to produce this stuff. They've got Volo quality meats out in Volo, Illinois. They've got another production facility, I believe, in Wheeling. They produce more Nduja than any other company in all of North America. Like, it costs money to make money, and it costs money to make a really incredibly high quality, no compromise product, of which they've done for the past, 10 years now or something. I don't know how long. That might be a slight stretch, but they've been at it. They're past the hump of trying to figure out that, like, if you go to that far west on Grand Avenue, like, other than Burger Baron across the street, they're kind of pioneers. And they're one of the reasons that I felt like, okay, even with, to this moment, vacant storefronts to the left of me, I think we can make this happen.
Nice.
And we are. And, I'm not doing the lunches yet that Tempesta's doing, but it's so encouraging to see them crush it, because they're in that same category I am, where, I'm certainly not producing my own charcuterie, but I'm just buying the best stuff I can buy with
it'll be a win-win for the area.
Yeah.
Some days you want Tempesta, some days you want the pizza.
Yeah. And some days you can have, a collab there or here, So it's just fun.
I really appreciate these symbiotic relationship you have with Made. It's a thought that I had recently, especially after I bought a home recently, but prior to buying a home, I would have loved a similar setup to this building, like a mixed use building where The upstairs could be converted into the actual class, and downstairs is a cafe, this first floor cafe.
Yeah.
And then downstairs a jiu-jitsu gym, right?
Sick.
And so like I would never leave. And then another guest that came on, I don't know if you've heard of Jake Rubin from Holy Dough.
I have heard of Holy Dough recently, and I love their branding. I have not. They're bagels, yeah.
You must meet him.
Yeah.
He'll drop the text message on Tuesdays. It's a random time on a Tuesday, and then the pickups.
Different variety each time or something.
No, it's a tight ass menu.
Okay.
And I get 4. And you limit it to 4 bagels and 1 schmear. And
like that's what each customer can walk with.
Yes.
Okay.
And you pick up Saturday or Sunday.
Is it always from the same location?
Pompeii.
Oh, cool.
And,
yeah, I'm friends with those guys too. I didn't really realize that.
I didn't realize that bagels.
So he produces them there, I imagine.
Yeah,
cool.
I believe if not even stores them there as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But the idea.
You did a pod with him here?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll watch. Sick.
Awesome guy.
Yeah.
But the notion of having this symbiotic relationship between pizza and bagels is a thing.
Oh, for sure.
And we name dropped you, and I don't know if he said I reached out or didn't reach out, but he reached out to other pizza people as well, just he was looking for more storage space, and then a time where maybe the pizza shop wasn't running, that he could operate the pickup times for the bagels and things like that.
They've got incredible old school mixers there.
I'm just saying, man, like some beautiful things can blossom out of this. If you guys want a group chat, I'm happy to make the introduction.
Absolutely.
But for me, for this class, I was thinking like, what's good study food? Pizza, like slices or bagels or coffee. Like I think, bagel by day, pizza by night. It's just like, it's like, why not?
As somebody who has avoided the gym my entire life, I found it interesting over the course of this past summer to learn the symbiotic relationship between runners and carbs.
Okay, yeah.
And we were involved with 2 different run events.
Yes.
Surrounding the Chicago Marathon. One was hosted by this app that was it's like a meetup app for different work. I don't know if it was just a meetup app for running or for physicality in general.
Sure.
But that was hosted at the pizzeria. While that was going on, we were doing something in the West Loop with Nike, where they were doing like a mini run, in the same weekend as the Chicago Marathon. And when all these runners came through my space, and I heard from the folks that were running the one in the West Loop, all of them had the pizza there as well, to build community around something that is so, how would I put it, like disciplined usually.
Yeah.
Like you have to be so disciplined to excel in that world of running. And then to see all those people like kind of kick back and like eat some slices, and we had a DJ at the event at our shop, and so they were able to take in some vibes and some tunes in that respect. Like it was just cool to bring in different walks of life and have pizza be kind of a central arbiter to that.
That's a thought. The first and last time I was at, it's just so out of the way, but Easy Does It.
Love them.
Motor Shucker was collabing there, was popping up there, and a cycling club just like boom, just landed, and they're just getting drinks and oysters after the ride.
Yep.
But a previous guest, a huge advocate for the marijuana community, is his name's Carlos. He has a runner's high. A runner's club where you get high and
but he does the cocktails, Carlos, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
elevated.
Yeah. He's a fixture of Made Gallery.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he has been doing these watch parties up there. He did one for
Hello, Carlos.
Great, yeah. Hello, Carlos is right. What's Carlos's last name? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Up. Yeah.
It'll pop on the screen, I'm sure, but I want to say Ramirez, but I could be totally wrong about that. Either way, he's been doing these watch parties at Made Gallery. Did one for Grandma's Boy, one for Knocked Up.
Oh, cool.
Where people, smoke and kick back, and
that's
we've catered them.
Oh, dope.
So, and other people have too, and he'll do not only cocktails, but he set up the whole popcorn rig, and he had the movie theater candy set up. He just
he went all out.
He curated the whole thing. So yeah, he does a great job.
I love that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the last time, but is there anything that you want to put out there that we haven't talked about yet? Also, do you miss the good old days of ghost kitchen life with Henry, who is now in the old Pizza Michi space, right? In the pizza fried chicken ice cream.
Yeah, correct.
3LP.
Yeah, I love Henry. Good thing he's gonna be like, oh, you did a whole podcast, you didn't bring me up once. Have you done one of these with him?
I've met him. He did a round table.
Okay, cool.
He did a round table. Yeah,
it's one of my best friends. Yeah, of course I miss. There are aspects of it I really miss, and there are aspects of it I don't miss at all. The aspects I miss are the camaraderie of building something on the ground floor and watching him do the same.
Like two founders dreaming and growing together. Yeah.
Yeah, and not that we're like, sailing on yachts or anything right now, but like, I think the versions of us then, to look at where we are now.
I picked up from his South Loop location, and then now he's in Bridgeport.
This is dope.
Yeah.
This is dope.
When he did come, I think he brought his pizza. His like
fried pizza.
fried
really
Rangoon, crab Rangoon pizza.
We were just talking about doing some sort of collab for that, and the Chicago Pizza Summit, which is coming back.
Nice.
Should be in October. Shout out Anthony Spina, who's been the founder of that event for.
Well, you work with Donate Pizza too.
Shout out Brian Rock and Donate Pizza.
Angelo and Brian Rock.
Yeah, Angelo Corso, Brian Rock. Yeah, doing incredible things throughout the pizza community here in Chicago and donating it, right, to shelters and folks in need all the time.
Yeah.
And doing events to raise money so that they can buy pizza at cost from pizzerias so that pizzerias aren't put out too much, but have an opportunity to kind of give back themselves in a way that's reasonable for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the community's huge. As I've said, we've got the new West Town location. We've got our Old Town location. We've got our Boston location. We hope at some point to still get into Frozen. We've got awesome collab shirts right now with Zanies, Professor Pizza Zanies shirts that you can get at the Old Town location. You can get at Zanies before or after shows.
Is it a similar artist to the pizza boxes?
No. This one's Jasper Blake. I can't think of his Instagram handle right now, but he's out of Denver for the time being. Phenomenal artist and dear friend of mine. He crushed it. It's kind of me hovering over Zanies with a slice of pizza on the back of it, and the front of it is the Zanies logo, but instead of it saying Zanies, it says Prof Pizza.
Nice.
It's pretty fun.
What's Frozen?
Just frozen pizza in general. I've got ambitions to get into.
Well, did you hear Maplewood's joining up with Half Acre?
Yeah, I did. I saw that the other day. Congratulations to both of them. Yeah, we used to do frozen pizzas at Maplewood, and that was kind of like the impetus of being like, okay, I think we could do something like this.
What a time! I can't imagine how tough it is for breweries. It's like you hear handfuls of breweries just shuttering.
Kind of like a boom where there was like a lot of them, and now like the ones that have been able to weather the storm are still here, but I can't speak too much on it because it's just
we're not in the industry, but like so much, and I wonder like how much of that turbulence went into the decision of Half Acre and Maplewood joining forces.
It could be. Sometimes like when you have such aligned visions,
that too.
It's like maybe we could be more powerful together than against one another. I don't know the inner workings of the deal, but I'm sure it's going to mean growth for both entities. I know Ari very well over at Maplewood. I don't know the Half Acre guys as well, other than just being aware of their good reputation as a brand.
I know Hot Butcher doesn't do pizza. They don't do food.
Say again?
Hot Butcher on Lincoln.
See, that's a new one to me. I don't know.
It's near like Lincoln Square, North Center area.
Well, so
they took over the original Half Acre location.
One of the reasons I wouldn't say reasons, but one of the ambitions for the frozen pizza, beyond just as a retail product in grocery stores and online, is to potentially fill a void, whether it's for breweries or bars in general that have either minimal or no kitchen, that are looking to capture some of those food sales in a way that isn't too encumbering on their bartenders. And so there's a culture of bars and pubs and taverns,
wine bars,
in Wisconsin, I know of, for example, that have chest freezers, have very minimal ovens that just sit on their back bar, and they pull a frozen pizza
toaster ovens,
and they throw it in there and they serve it up to their guests.
That's smart, yeah.
They're ones that like you can get them at different bars and people really covet those particular pizzas. And we think that's a little bit missing here in Chicago and really could be expounded upon in the Midwest and beyond.
Do you know if Masa is local?
They're local. I don't. And fantastic, by the way. Another Angelo behind that. Vero, I want to say his last name, but I might just be confusing that for the fact that it's the same company as the Vero Gelato in Mariano's. But yeah, it's a local company. I don't know if he's going after like the bar market or anything like that.
I've seen him.
But it's in supermarkets.
In grocery stores,
it's great.
like Fontano's as well, like the deli.
Yeah.
That's very smart.
There's a lot of us kind of going for that. I don't know if you know Caruso Provisions.
I gotta talk with him. They're jardiniers everywhere.
Yeah.
But I can see you at Agora.
Peter and Dominic
Agora's
Caruso brothers. Agora,
market?
right down the street from where I live.
L&M, also in North Center. So like they host
L&M.
a lot of local product. It is Montrose and Lincoln.
But it's like a deli or grocery.
It's a corner store. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But a lot of local goods. It's like
dope.
It's like the local Foxtrot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'll have to check them out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How what does it take to do that though? Like what's the projection?
A lot,
like what's the ETA on that? You know, like is it co-manufacturing? Is it trying to do it yourself? Oh, okay.
I mean, could be column A, could be column B, could be little column A before column B, but like I think. From the folks that I've spoken to, usually the upfront things that you have to do just to position yourself for this beyond figuring out what your market research is and what your demand might be and what your core product might be is deciding, okay, I've had this pizza that I've been producing on a high level for years now in a home setting. Then I took it to a commercial setting.
Sure.
Then I took it to multiple commercial settings. But you quickly understand that there's a gigantic leap between a commercial setting and an industrial setting.
Yeah.
And when you're taking a commercial product and industrializing it, you have to really look at it through fresh eyes and do what I can only describe as somebody who doesn't know too much about this space yet as industrialized R&D. And you're producing that in a facility like a co-packing facility where they're already producing products in this realm and can help you take this from that commercial level to, okay, now how can we do this and give it shelf life and give it and put USD regulations behind it so that you can scale this into millions of units.
What do you need first? You need
the capital to be able to do that. To say you need the capital.
So that can come from.
You need the relationship.
Yes, investments or seed funding, or is that going to come from the partners that are going to hold your inventory?
It depends.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how deep your relationships are. If you have deep enough relationships, maybe someone's going to take a chance on you because you already have a pre-existing name on a commercial level. I would say that's less likely, to be honest with you. Not impossible.
Yeah.
Not even improbable, but less likely. I think what's more likely is you take the leverage of your pre-existing brand and you use that as a starting point to build a new business plan around frozen, and then from there, a pitch deck, right? And then you go shopping for investors. And it's easier to do that when you've been able to couple that with folks that have already had success in the space and can leverage their relationships. So, for example, like when I was talking to somebody who I'll probably continue to go down this path with about what it normally takes to do an initial product run, how many units would you say for like frozen pizza an initial product run would look like? What would be your like pull from air, like one single guess?
1,000.
Okay, reasonable, right? So an initial product,
is that even a minimum? I'm sure they have minimums. You know,
an initial product run, if you don't have relationships and you don't have like pre-existing leverage of somebody who's performed well in the space, is like 1 million units.
Oh my God.
Okay. You know. So what he said to me is, due to the relationships I have and some of the previous success I've had in the space, I could probably bring that number down to 25,000.
Wow.
Okay. Now, 25,000 pizzas is still 25,000 pizzas for you to move. But that's where some other relationships come into play. Online relationships and what it would take to ship those, you know, direct to consumer. Retail relationships with Whole Foods, Costco, Trader Joe's, Mariano's,
Costco,
Jewel.
buy a 10-pack of Professor Pizza.
Right? And then instead of the Vitamix guy,
I like
you
their
see
frozen
me
pizza. They have good frozen
for
pizza.
Sure. I mean, it's another competitive market, right? But it's a competitive market where I think with my local appeal, the fact that I would potentially look at both styles that you've seen out there before and styles that you haven't traditionally seen out there before, and formats that you've only seen so much of. Like there's only so many examples of like frozen New York slices.
Sure.
You know,
there's
like
less than
table
a
80,
handful.
like table 87, for example, you can get like 2 coal-fired New York slices in a vacuum sealed bag that you can then bring home and from frozen throw into like your air fryer toaster oven thing and minutes later have a relatively fresh pizza product.
And there's even less for Detroit, and then grandma, you know, like it's unheard of in the frozen.
Right. And then you get into things that, you know, I wouldn't say I'm the only one who's known for this, but I'm also particularly known for like whipped ricotta and post-baked toppings, hot honeys, fresh basils. Like, how can you offer a premium product for those that are still looking to not leave the house but want something better than the traditional options, and do it in a way that isn't currently being done? So, you know, I've got different ideas, and I've talked to different people about different concepts, and have been led to believe that some of my ideas are in the realm of possibility. But I would still say I'm definitely in the infancy of like trying to figure it all out. But
and it's just like making the time to
do it on top of like
plan that. You're to think about
the everyday
it, you know?
thing. You know, it'll be interesting. Like, and it involves me like playing in a space that I'm not normally like comfortable playing in, which is like, I would say, it's just like the heady business world.
Well, I'm sure you've mentioned
and
AI before. If you have a relationship with like Claude, you know.
Everybody's been telling me I'm like using diet AI by being on ChatGPT.
Well, people are migrating from ChatGPT to Claude, but whatever one
that's
you use.
Google's one.
No, it's Anthropic.
It's another company.
That's Gemini.
Okay.
It's another company, but
okay.
You know, whatever one you go with.
I use ChatGPT
daily throughout the day. There's almost like a long-term relationship, right? They remember your conversations, but I'm sure you could migrate your long-term conversations over to whatever other, you know, large language model that you want to work with.
Yeah, no doubt. Is the question, do I use it? I use it all the time.
Because it's helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, especially
in a variety of different ways.
It could be tactical. It could be brainstorming wise, like just verbiage. Like, how do you even like form the words to manifest the thoughts in your head?
Yeah.
In a way, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the ways I did it recently is like, I have pretty much my first like long format speaking engagement coming up in Vegas.
Wow. How long are we talking?
For like 45 minutes to an hour is the space, you know, and like they're like, you know, show some visual aids in that time, take some questions in that time. That's all like included in that. So it could be potentially manageable for me, and I've already written what I feel like is.
What do you? I get to just brainstorm on that. Is like, who's the audience? Like, and are they?
So the
is
topic.
It more of a?
So it's the Restaurant and Bar Expo.
Okay.
Which happens at the exact same time in the exact same building as Pizza Expo.
Oh, interesting.
And so they reached out to me, asked if I'd be interested on speaking on, I think, like how to harness social media for your hospitality business.
Sure.
And that's the basis of my conversation or talk. And I gave it a first pass on my own. Then I put it through ChatGPT, and then I asked a bunch of follow-up questions and took some of what they gave me, and then made further passes based on their input, and continuing to make it uniquely my own. But I mean, it takes so much of the burden out of it.
It does, yeah.
Because it's almost like you're brainstorming with other people that are bouncing ideas off of you, right? It's not quite as effective as that, but it's something that I've found effective enough to be using on a daily basis.
Better than staring at a blank screen.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I've used it in that respect. I've used it to build out different scheduling models as I've taken a more active role in the scheduling as of recent, to scale different dough recipes, to ask some upfront questions about dough R&D that I want to do before I start to do it, so that at least I'm playing in the realm that I want to play in to get the results that I'm looking for quicker.
Yeah.
It's really helpful.
Wow. Okay. I also, one more thing that
Sure.
made me think of you is this week I for the first time stepped foot inside of Gene's Sausage Shop.
Oh, sick.
And that was probably one of the last pies at home that we had from you, is the Oktoberfest one with the pretzel crust and the sauerkraut and their sausage.
The last time I went there on a voyage to make a very, very particular pizza, it was for Bert Kreischer, and it was in homage to his love for Winston Churchill.
What the hell?
He just likes how the guy lived his life in this like extravagant, over the top, embarrassment of riches sort of ways, starting your day with a scotch and a cigar while you're still in bed, and a full English breakfast.
Why not? Yeah.
So I riffed on the full English breakfast and made that a pizza. And so went there and I got some like blood sausage.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
Yeah. But that place is a treasure.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
2 stories of meat.
Yeah. Got some sausage, some snacks to munch on. It was good. Everything's been good.
Hell yeah.
That's all for now, Tony. I can't wait to stop by Westtown soon.
Oh, we can't wait to have you
You're
by.
closer than ever. And it was really good catching up with you.
Likewise, and congratulations on all your success too, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been very fulfilling to similar to you. I'm sure you get the same feeling of like choosing what you do or just getting that sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
But it comes through the day-to-day of choosing the right things to do and who to do it with, and just being a good at the core, being a good person, right? Being a good human being, and if you do it right and the timing's there, the love will come back to you.
Well, I'll say that first off, I agree. And second off, I'll say you were almost certainly, if not my very first podcast that I did, among my very first, even though I think you were the first. And, I think the second time you asked me to come back, this time I pretty much asked,
I'm open.
Will you have me back? And I was pretty sure you'd say yes. But since then, I've had the chance to do a variety of others, and I'm grateful to be on all of them.
Yeah.
But you can see a spectrum of like, not even just professionalism, but like aptitude towards the format.
Sure.
And carrying a conversation, being a good interviewer, being thoughtful, and remembering, different things and doing certain research, all the things that make you really uniquely great at this. And so, thrilled to be back, and thanks for having me, man.
That's hospitality.
I appreciate you.
All right.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Please visit Professor Pizza at 2 of his locations, or his third if you're in Boston, and give them a follow on Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.